Welcome back to Champion Chinese. 欢迎回来。My name is Pei-Pei Champion. 我叫周佩佩。I am the creator of Champion Chinese program. Yesterday, you won't believe, I have taught at West Hartford continuing education before for 12-15 years on and off, and then but I didn't continue to do it with continuing education, but I start my first class yesterday at West Hartford Elmwood Community Center, and I have 8 students. 6 of them are seniors, and they are just so cute and sweet. And they suggest me to give more detailed information about what are the simplified script and traditional script. What are the differences between them, and what is the good part of each one, and what are the bad influences for each one. So I decided I'm going to do it today for everybody. First, I want to tell everybody about how U.S. State Department language classification talk about this. And because a lot of people think Chinese is a very, very difficult, impossible to learn and teach language. Somehow I'm going to show you what the U.S. Department language department said, okay? For the classroom hour needed to achieve professional working proficiency, students assumed to have an above average aptitude for language learning. Okay, so category 1, you will need 600 to 750 classroom hours. That is for Danish, Dutch, French, Italian, Norwegian, Portuguese, Romanian, Spanish, and Swedish. Okay, so if you want to be able to use it as a daily language, you need 600 to 750 classroom hours. In category 2, German, Indonesian, Malay, Swahili, you will need 900 classroom hours. And right now is the hard language, okay? It's very significant linguistic or cultural differences from English. What are they? Albanian, Burmese, Hebrew, Icelandic, Russian, Greek, Thai, Finnish, Hungarian, Polish, Tamil, and others. So you will need 1,100 classroom hours. And here comes the so-called extremely difficult ones. Suddenly you have to double the classroom hours. You have to double it from the very hard language, 1,100 to 2,200 classroom hours. So if you want to use Mandarin, which is the oral standard language for Chinese people or the world, when you want to speak Chinese, you are not learning Cantonese, you are not learning Taiwanese, but you are learning Mandarin, okay? Then you need 2,200 years. Classroom hours, okay? So What are they? Those languages are super hard languages, exceptionally hard for native English speakers. They are Arabic, Cantonese, Mandarin, Japanese, Taiwanese, and Korean. Okay, so please don't back down, okay? Because and don't say no, because I'm going to show you Chinese is one of the most logic, easy, rich, romantic, exciting, beautiful, philosophical language that you can find. And first, I want to show you this, because this is extremely important. Okay, look at this. This is a character. This is called 字. Say 字. Very good. So 字, this is composed by 3 parts. This dot. This is my bopoma. Transform. This is a roof. Okay? Like a cover. So this is a roof, chimney. This is a roof. Inside the roof, of course, that's our home or our house. This is a child. Look at this. Child head, bundle up. That's the hand. Look at this baby. Very, very cute. Okay? So this is called character. What does this mean? This means a baby, your children, is like the character. Will transform, will pass down your family, your country, your race, your nation's legend. Okay? So we know without written language, there won't be any history. And without the history, there will not be any civilization. Okay? So this is how important character to normal Chinese people. Okay? And of course, there are some people, they were born to want to destroy culture and civilization. I don't know where those people come from. Okay? Definitely, they are not blessed by God, by Buddha, by Guan Yin. I don't know. Okay? But this is how important characters mean to Chinese people. Okay? And I hope the whole world will try to understand this. A language, especially a written language, is so precious. And most Chinese people, and the highest elite, okay, people from Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, Southeast Asia, Japan elite, Korean elite, they all read and write traditional script. Okay, so people will say, oh, traditional script, that's not what we are learning in the school and in the society right now. Okay, and lots of people, they already alter it, change the traditional script into simplified. That's not true. Okay, I went to China once, and then that's just my curiosity. I asked almost every person I met in China, I said, what do you think about traditional script? And first thing they would say, oh, very, very difficult. Very difficult. It's impossible to learn. And then the second question I usually ask was, what do you think people understand and are educated with traditional script? And almost everybody would say, oh, they must be extremely smart, or they are from very, very cultural and cultural family and background, okay? And the third answer, they will say, oh, they must be very rich and family, very, very cultural family and rich, okay? Because they will have more opportunity. And then I found out the general stores are, the sign are all printed, written in simplified script. But if I went to, at that time, to those high-end stores, okay, I found out their sign outside the store and their introduction or menu restaurant in restaurant, they are all printed, written in traditional script. What does that result give you? Okay, let's think about that. And now I'm going to explain what is traditional script, where do they come from, when do they come from, what is the simplify, where do they come from, what can they do, and also the reason, okay? So you will have a rough idea. Okay, here. Nowadays, people are people are using two kinds of character. One is traditional, one is simplified. Ooh, what happened? I think must be I used the wipe, the chemical kind of influence this. So traditional script are created basically 3,000 years ago, maybe even longer. And then at that time, 3,000 years ago, that's called oracle bone, right? So we will say more than that, okay? And then to the emperor, the Qing dynasty, the first emperor, he kind of unified the script, the measurement, okay? I think that's 200 BC, okay? And then it's still working. No, that is what? This is Tang Dynasty. Until Tang Dynasty, the language, the script is almost fixed. So hardly any change, okay? Hardly any change. And then, so for me, I can read material dated from Tang Dynasty. Even before, I understand because it's a picture, okay? And then up to now, 1956, CCP, China, tried to simplify the language. And the reason they want to simplify it, like Zhou Enlai, he announced to the foreign reporters to make, because some farmers, some peasants from countryside, they couldn't even memorize one character in 6 months. Okay? One character in 6 months. A little better than our general public school system. They will introduce 150 characters a year, okay? So a little bit worse there that time. So he said, to meet the need of our peasant, our people, general people, we need to simplify the language. Okay, so 1956, they decided to transform the language to simplification. And then the traditional script, since 1913, they created 注音 system. And it's called Pei-Pei. Pei-Pei. Okay? So those Pei-Pei are the symbols that I told you. I've told you we only need 2 to 5 hours to master those symbols, 37 symbols, okay? Then my student will be able to start reading in 3 hours using Pei-Pei, traditional script, and pinyin, simplified characters, okay? So I will repeat again. Traditional characters basically were created 3,000 years ago in Tang Dynasty, steady, hardly any change. 1956, CCP China decided to simplify it. And for traditional Chinese script, in 1913, a lot of linguists, expert teachers, they worked together to create 37 symbols. And since then, those symbols were used. They were derived from the ancient Chinese character. For example, the, okay? And this is derived from knife, dao, okay? So those are the Pei-Pei symbols, okay? This is the Pei-Pei symbols. And then, so people can start reading to pronounce the Chinese character, traditional characters, okay? Because before, we have more than maybe 100 ethnic groups. But right now, a lot of ethnic groups died out. And then we only have 56 ethnic groups, okay, still in China. And then everybody has their own dialogue, has their own languages. And then people, for example, can you imagine, cross the Connecticut River, we will not understand each other. Unless we write the traditional script, then we will understand. And even if you go to Japan, Korea, okay, if people you visit are very highly educated people, you write the traditional script, they will understand, okay? So this is the difference. And the pinyin is created 1931 in Shandong by coal miners, the representative of Russian CCP. So they worked together to create, using Latin alphabet and very heavily Russian phonic influenced alphabet, okay, to help people to Romanize the language. So you have to understand the pinyin was created to Romanize the language, okay? I will say, you know what? I have been alone doing this because I'm from Taiwan, right? So I never lived in China. I was born in Taiwan, raised in Taiwan, educated in Taiwan, and then I moved to America. So I can fully speak Mandarin, Taiwanese, and Cantonese. Okay, so this is a very interesting fact. The pinyin was created to Romanize the language. Somehow they practice it, and they found out Chinese cannot be Romanized. And then, so those high-level government officials, they have all the ideas come out. And they said, since it's so difficult to Romanize it, that's make the simplification impossible to understand. impossible to accept and make it ridiculous and make it incredibly difficult, incomprehensible. Therefore, it will be abandoned totally, and then the Romanization will be accepted. I do agree Romanization is important for people that do not have time or doesn't have the tools to learn learn any languages, okay? So any language in the world, if you want people to approximately pronounce that language, not learn that language, you need a Latin alphabet, and so easier for people to try to pronounce it, okay? And therefore, I create the system because Romanization, pinyin, is kind of ridiculous. How can you use Russian phonics and Latin alphabet to learn Chinese? Chinese is not even an alphabetic language, okay? So it doesn't make sense, but it is necessary, and it's the truth already. So I try to create the material using Pei-Pei. Before me, Pei-Pei is only used as phonetic sounding symbol. But when I found out Pei-Pei 注音 symbol actually were derived from ancient characters, I find out the secret how to decode this language. So I first create a method, Champion Chinese method, right? To help you 2 to 5 hours memorize this 37 symbol. This is revolutionary, okay? When I say revolutionary, people get scared, okay? But it is. I cannot lie, because my 2 to 5 hours is equivalent to Taiwan first grade's 55 hours, okay? And then it would take 1 to 2 years to purify this tool so people can sound out Chinese. But my 2 to 5 hours to introduce this 37 symbol, people will memorize it after 2 to 5 hours. In 3 hours, they will start reading and writing, and they will be able to start conducting independent reading, writing, and singing, playing in Chinese. Okay, and the magic is after you spend these 2 to 5 hours, you will accidentally memorize the pinyin system. Therefore, I can say my student, after 2 to 5 hours, they will start using pinyin to read whatever is annotated in pinyin, that including simplified or traditional character. Simplified or traditional characters, okay? So, this is basically what it comes from. And then I want you to think about that. For 26 letters in American school, first grade, right? People, the teachers will introduce 26 letters for students. And then they will take 1, 2, even some people 3 years to purify the phonics, and so that people can start reading and memorizing how to spell those characters. And for us, champion Chinese student will do it in 2 to 5 hours. You will be able to acquire both traditional character, simplified character, 注音, the tool to read traditional or simplified character annotated in 注音. You will be able to use pinyin to read those. Okay, so this is a rough like history. Okay, and while I told you that because Chinese people, CCP, they found Chinese cannot be Romanized, so they try to destroy the simplification. Therefore, simplified characters, a lot of them, when you read it, it's just unbelievable. Make you angry and sometimes make you sad. Okay, so this is just the fact. But anyway, next section, don't go away. I'm going to talk about more in detail, like I explained to my Elmwood Community Center student, okay, yesterday. And if you want to come into our program, I still have 3 sections left every Wednesday, 10 to 12. But if you want to sign up with the community center, Elmwood, I will do a makeup lesson for you for the first class. Okay? So I will see you very soon. And come back with me. 再见，拜拜。再见，再见，再见，再见，再见，再见，再见。